here with another dysfunctional family review for you. Holiday time is the time to get together with your crazy families. I put a poll up on our It's a Wonderful Podcast Patreon asking what movies you wanted me to review in the month of November, and dysfunctional family films won the poll. So I've been watching some fun ones, some of my favorites. Not all are holiday related, but just movies with some really interesting, fun family dynamics. So today I'm talking about Our Idiot Brother. The lovable Paul Rudd, ever so lovable in this film, but very naive, very gullible, a little bit dumb, hence the title, and just kind of everything that happens to him in terms of his relationships with his sisters and his mom, and him kind of getting back on his feet. So that's a really fun movie that I'm going to be talking about today. So let's get into it. So Our Idiot Brother from 2011, it stars our lovable Paul Rudd, Elizabeth Banks, Emily Mortimer, and Zooey Deschanel. They play his sisters. Kind of where the dysfunction comes in. Ned is just this sweet, lovable guy, but he's super gullible, super naive. And he gets in trouble selling weed to a uniformed police officer. Poor guy. So he basically gets himself entrapped and sent to jail. So he's in jail for a good, decent amount of time, but when he gets out, the life that he was living before, being an organic farmer, living on this kind of like hippie farm, is not waiting for him. So then he kind of has to go and live with his sisters, and he ends up bouncing between the three sisters because each one he kind of causes drama with, and then he has to kind of bounce to the next sister. And I love kind of this, how it works out, because with Ned, you know, he's really not the problem in their lives. They are doing their own kind of misdeeds and they have their own issues and problems, but Ned will do something that will bring those things out, and then they end up blaming Ned and putting it on him. And so nobody wants to have Ned stay with them. But Ned is just living his life. He sees the best in people. There's literally a scene on the subway where he's counting his money. Everyone's watching him like, this dude is counting all this money. He drops his drink and then he hands someone his money to hold while he cleans the drink off of him. And the guy who he hands the money to is like, I could literally just steal this. But Ned is just so naive and so gullible that he will just trust the best in people and not really see it until it's too late, when somebody's kind of messing with him, or if he does something to implicate himself, because he's just very kind of surface level happy and just wants to help and just wants to be a good person. And so he's so lovable in that way. So Paul Rudd was definitely perfect for this role. Like, he's good at the kind of sarcastic, lovable asshole, but he's even better at playing just this gullible, kind of lovable dummy. And yeah, but it, like I said, it's really interesting how they play it, in the fact that like his sisters blame him for all of their problems, but he's just kind of bringing their problems to the surface. So it takes a lot for them to kind of at some point realize, Ned didn't really do anything to you. You did these things to yourself. Ned just kind of brought it to the surface and made it a problem for you to actually have to deal with your issues. So that's where the dysfunction comes in. Ned kind of is bouncing from sister to sister, living with them, you know, trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life, and ultimately kind of, you know, in their minds ruins their lives a little bit. So it's great. It's really funny. There's great supporting cast here. You know, your favorites. We have Adam Scott as not a roommate, but he's a neighbor of Elizabeth Banks' character, and he obviously likes her. They obviously like each other, but they're just friends. And you know, she'll call him if she needs like her pilot light lit, or all these like little random chores, and he'll just jump and do it because he is basically in love with her, but he plays it off like he's not. He's very much kind of the sarcastic, like Adam Scott, but he obviously is like in love with her. So he's great in this movie. Catherine Hahn plays Ned's ex, Paul Rudd's ex, when he goes back to his home on the kind of hippie organic farm to go live after he gets out of jail. She tells him, no, you can't live here anymore, we are done. And she's moved on and has a new boyfriend played by TJ Miller. So yeah, great kind of supporting surrounding cast in here to kind of be with our great cast already starting off. So I really like the dynamic between Ned and kind of his relationship with each of his sisters and kind of all the things they're going through. Zooey Deschanel is the youngest sister. She's kind of the bohemian one. She's a lesbian. She's in a relationship, or she's bisexual. She's in a relationship with Rashida Jones. Live in like a studio apartment with like 6 or 7 other people. She's just kind of messy in terms of her life. She's trying to be like a stand-up comedian. She does kind of odd jobs and all kinds of things. Emily Mortimer is a sister with the family, so she's married to Steve Coogan. She has a young son, River, and then a brand new baby. She's trying to kind of keep the spice alive in her marriage, but Stephen Coogan is just very cold to her, and so they're really kind of trying to push a lot of achievement things on their son River. He's maybe like 8 or 9, and they're trying to like have him play like this fancy instrument and speak all these different languages when all he really wants to do is be a kid and like do karate and fun stuff like that. So that's the sister who's kind of domesticated, and then Elizabeth Banks is kind of like the kind of businesswoman sister. She's a journalist, and she's trying to write like hard-hitting articles, so she's just like all about her job and all about kind of being this cold kind of tell it like it is kind of a journalist person. So they're all kind of different dynamics, which I really like. And then Ned just being kind of this like hippie child who just loves everybody and loves everything and is so pure. So yeah, he tries to live with the mom, but she kind of always makes him get up early and do all this shopping with her, and she's kind of, so he's like not into that. So that's when he decides to kind of try to live with each sister. And so he's staying with one sister, and then something happens where Ned kind of screws up something for them, and then, you know, so that's kind of how the story works. So yeah, very dysfunctional in terms of these sisters really just not dealing with their own issues, Ned kind of bringing that to the surface, and then them just like making Ned the scapegoat for their problems. So you feel so bad for Ned in this movie, and Paul Rudd is just perfect at this role. Sterling K. Brown is in this as well. Like, I think this was an early role for him. As Ned's parole officer. So yeah, great supporting cast here, great chemistry with Paul Rudd and these 3 actors playing his sisters, and kind of how the story ends up going. It's really sweet. He's just such a sweet character. You just feel so bad for him, and just these sisters are so frustrating because they have their own drama, and then just like avoiding dealing with it is really frustrating. There's a scene where the 3 sisters are actually like fighting with each other, and then they come to terms of it all just being kind of Ned's fault. But then, you know, one sister will call the other sister out on her issues, and then the other one will call the other sister out on her issues, but then they ultimately kind of still try to blame Ned. It's like this whole thing. Definitely very dysfunctional, but a really kind of interesting kind of sibling dynamic that we see here, because they're all very different, and Ned kind of being the scapegoat even though he's like the sweetest one. So I really like this dynamic. It's not something I think I've seen a lot of, like a story kind of told in this way. And yeah, just great comedic actors. It's really funny, it's really emotional, and just a fun story. Our Idiot Brother. Everybody loves Paul Rudd, so this will definitely make you love this man even more watching this movie. So yeah, check out Our Idiot Brother, and thanks for checking out this review. Of course, you can find so many other awesome things on this YouTube channel, so please like, share, and subscribe. Do all of the things. If you want to vote in polls for things that I watch and review, please become an It's Wonderful Podcast patron on It's Wonderful Podcast on patreon.com. We have some really fun tiers there, so check it out. And thank you guys for checking out another one of my reviews, and I will see you in the next one.